St. Theophan the Recluse says, we must be merciless with ourselves. We must struggle, repent, so that any self-pity is replaced within us with a desire, a longing, a thirst to overcome the will and the desires of the flesh. Elder Ephraim of Athos and Arizona says we should take courage, trust in God, because God is with us always. Even if we come face to face with the devil, if we are surrounded by armed enemies, always remember, harm can only come to us if God permits it. So let us take courage and remember, he says, our big brothers, the angels, are always with us, always watching us, always ready to guard us. St. John Chrysostom asks a question of us. He says, which is worse, to steal gold or to steal silver? Of course, if we are the victim of a crime, to lose a lot feels worse than to lose a little. But St. John says the man who steals silver only does so because the opportunity to steal gold isn't there. In reality, the two are the same. The real sin is to be found in the heart, the inclination, the attitude of the heart that leads to theft, that leads to the outward actions of sin. It doesn't matter if we are a banker stealing the money from a whole people, or a pickpocket taking just a few pounds. The results may be very different, but in fact the reality of the heart is one of avarice and greed. This is where the sin is truly to be judged within us. So St. John says if we are to overcome sin, we shouldn't just think in terms of outward actions, but we need to overcome those evil inclinations that we carry in our hearts. And if we like, we can even appeal to self-interest. St. John reminds us that when we sin, we lose fellowship with one another and with God. We lose the joy, the peace that such fellowship brings. So if we want to return to a state of joy and peace, we must remove from our hearts these evil, selfish, sinful inclinations. Ultimately, St. John Chrysostom reminds us that that yearning that we feel in our hearts isn't for gold or silver, it's for fellowship with God.